But when folks out in the community, they hear about, hey, and we've mentioned this before, flat fee, uncontested divorce. Now here at Foxtrot, we typically, even when we think we've got an agreement in a divorce, we're still billing by the hour. What's the logic there as far as not offering a flat fee, even on a case where maybe two folks come in and they say, Mr. Ravi, like we've got a deal, we just need the paperwork drawn up. Why bill by the hour on that rather than just charging some flat fee like maybe somebody down the street might?
Well, two people coming in saying we've got an agreement. The problem is they probably haven't talked to an attorney yet. There are issues they haven't even considered. And so when we're drafting the agreement, we're going through all of these particular issues with our client. We're addressing their concerns. They may say, hey, we just want to do 50-50 custody. We'll figure out how visitation is going to work later on. And then I'll have to explain to them that's not how this works. A judge won't sign that. The judge is going to require a visitation schedule of some sort because they don't want you right back in the courtroom arguing about not getting the visitation you were supposed to get because nothing is in the order for y'all to follow. We can explain how we can, reach an agreement and say you can make an agreement to reasonable times and places, but you have to have a backup. And so we're introducing new issues to them in this process. So they have to make more decisions about what they want. And the more decisions they have to make, the more likely there is to be, some back and forth negotiation until we can come to a final agreement. And so there's no real way to know for sure how long the process is going to take and what kind of agreement we're going to end up with. And so
have you ever had maybe where you've seen or spoken to a client that came to us after working with a lawyer on a quote unquote uncontested divorce for a flat fee where, I paid some lawyer to drop the paperwork and the other side wouldn't sign it. And so I'm $2,000 out and I'm back at square one. I mean, have you come across that?
Yeah, I have. I've definitely seen that.
So what happens with that $2,000 in that paperwork? It's just
done. It's gone. They can have the paperwork, but it's useless if no one's going to sign it. And so, we always say, listen, if, me drafting an agreement is pointless unless you've at least discussed this with the other person as to what's going to be in it. So that's, it's all part of the process of working towards having, any contract has to have a meeting of the minds. Both parties signing the contract have to understand it, and they have to both agree on the terms inside of it. And two, people going through a divorce may not have thought of everything. The sale of a house and how that's going to be divided up is way more complicated than they probably thought. Just thinking, we'll just sell it and divide the assets isn't something or the equity isn't how that necessarily works. You have to choose a real estate agent. You have to decide how the price is going to be set. You have to decide what are the terms of which you're going to be willing to reduce the price if necessary. You're going to have to decide what expenses you're willing to pay in order to make that house ready to sell. There may be a lot of repairs, and so you have to decide how that's going to be paid. Whether or not the person paying for it gets a return on that from the equity. They probably didn't even consider who's going to get to claim the taxes or claim the payment of the mortgage till it sells when they do their tax returns. There's a lot of different things out there that need to be taken care of that most people just don't think about when they're just trying to go through the divorce. They've got enough on their minds at that time. And it's, it's our job to come in and say, here's the things that need to be addressed.